63 seconds here from Tottenham Hotspur. Rose has been missing with a hamstring injury that he suffered during the last international break. But Heung-min Son from South Korea started the last 3 Premier League games. He scored 4 goals, 2 at Middlesbrough last week, 2 at Stoke in a 4-0 win. And as I mentioned, scored the winner against CSKA Moscow on Tuesday. And Dele Alli in the centre of the park as well. And what have you made is there was plenty of conjecture before the game at how these sides would set up with the 11s that were named. What have you noticed so far, Graham?
Well, we'll see. Fernandinho is playing slightly further forwards.
Sissoko returning from injury as well, trying to get on the end of that ball from Son. Look at the high press. Much like City faced against Celtic during the week.
Well, I was just watching when Bravo had the goal kick, and Tottenham created a horseshoe around the penalty area and said, look, if you're going to pass it out from there, Claudio, we're going to win it back.
But of course, when you're pressing that high up the field, you may be susceptible to the counter-attack. And here's Sergio Aguero. The ball is out of play on the far side. Aguero, the lily-white slayer, 10 goals in 9 Premier League games against Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, just picking up on this Tottenham, Manchester City shape in midfield. Fernandinho, you see, really far forward at the moment. Big responsibility on Fernando because Dele Alli is playing quite far forwards at the moment. Obviously, Tottenham have got the momentum. That's encouraging him to go forwards, drawing him further forwards. But Fernando has to be very careful he doesn't run off the back of him.
Stones with the clearance. Drops here for Sissoko, who finds Wanyama. Alderweireld back to his goalkeeper. Fernandinho with the high press, and also Navas getting a challenge in as well. And Fernandinho found Silva. Here's Aguero. He feeds it to Jesus Navas. Against Rose, the low cross to the near post. David Silva was there, and it's taken a last flick off a Tottenham defender and gone away for a corner kick. How close can you get?
Lovely football counter-attack by Manchester City. And it's composure that we don't often see from Jesus Navas. He often, as soon as he gets the ball, he looks a bit panic-stricken in those wide areas. On that occasion, he took his time. It's an excellent ball in, and the slightest touch by Silva nearly created the opportunity.
Another subplot here, Graham, is the fact that it's the top scorers in the Premier League, City, against the league's best defence. Spurs have conceded 3 goals so far, none from open play. This is a set piece, it's bouncing around, and it's Vertonghen who gets it away with his left foot. They're a combination, these two, that have produced tons of goals of late. 44 in the last 10 meetings, and we've had a very lively opening to suggest that that trend may continue. Yet to score in the Premier League this season, David Silva. In fact, he's yet to score in his last 15, or hasn't scored in his last 15 since January against Crystal Palace. Heung-min Son, positive first touch against Zabaleta. Towards the penalty area he goes. Son, excellent challenge. A really wonderful piece of defending by John Stones, but it's a corner.
That happens often when you have a team pressing high up the pitch. 2 passes, and if you've got the pace as Son has there to get away from the fullback, but as you rightly say, Arlo, fantastic covering, anticipation by Stones, well-timed tackle.
Son with the corner, and Dele Alli there on the near post, being challenged by Fernandinho. A brief roar for a penalty from the Spurs fans. Of course, a reduced capacity at White Hart Lane these days. Fascinating to arrive here and see one of the corners of the stadium missing. And as we peer through it to the right of us here on the gantry, peering high above the pitch, we can see the workmen busily preparing the new stadium that is rising just behind the old one here. And another reminder of the fact that Spurs not only have an excellent side, a great manager, and doing very well on the field, off the field, the future is very bright here. Kolarov. And he's back to left back today. He was at centre back again at Celtic. Dale Clichy has been left back for City in all 3 Premier League home games. Kolarov there on the road today. Vertonghen. Reese. We found out where held. It was Sterling that was closing down, and now we're seeing the high press at the other end. And it wins possession back here for Manchester City.
Well, that's the thing. Defenders, they feel nervous when they're under pressure. And you see the ball out to Alderweireld was a decent ball. His ball onto Walker was a good ball, but Walker was just trying to give him a better angle. And they don't like to take big risks. It's something that you grow in confidence with the more successful you are, and you've just got to keep working through it. But occasionally, as in that situation, you make the odd mistake.
Otamendi trying the reverse switch. It was easy enough for Kyle Walker. Well, City had dominated recent Premier League meetings until last season. They won 8 out of 9, but Spurs did the double over them as they got themselves into that title race with Leicester City. They won 4-1 here in September. It was City's second consecutive defeat after their electric start. They won their first 5 last season, and the 2-1 win at the Etihad really announced them in January as being part of that title race. Rose with the interception, but it falls straight here to John Stones. Now Kolarov.
It's fantastic, Arlo. Both sets of players are operating almost the identical system in possession and out of possession.
Bravo gets rid of it just before Dele Alli closed him down. Fernando. Now Kolarov. Fernandinho in some space in the centre circle. He's just been spotted by Eriksen, just peering over his left shoulder. Silva finds Otamendi. Now Lamela springs to press. But here's Zabaleta. Can they weave their way through? Heavy challenge from Wanyama, but a fair one on Fernandinho. Lamela rows down the left-hand side. Ali on the edge of the penalty area. Son coming into the near post. Oh, it's in! Kolarov with the own goal! It bounced awkwardly off the left back and up in off the post. And Tottenham draw first blood. An own goal by Kolarov. Spurs 1, Manchester City 0. An unfortunate moment for Alexander Kolarov.
Remarkable 8 minutes of football. You see the tackle there from Wanyama. I think it's a fair tackle. Wins the ball. And it's Rose who gets a bit of space. Zabaleta backed off. It's a wonderful ball in. Son creates a distraction. Leaves Kolarov unsighted. He tries to clear it with his right foot. Hits his left leg. And goes in off the underside of the bar. That's all down to this pressing game that we've seen both teams employ, and Tottenham have taken advantage, made their counter-attack count.
Wanyama turning away from Fernandinho. And his Spurs, who have certainly settled better. Dele Alli finds Son. Sissoko's on the far post. Son on the left foot. Bravo saves down to his right with his right foot. Exhilarating football in the early stages from the home side.
Fantastic control. First by Eriksen under pressure, then Ali to set Son away. Again, he's not chosen the best option there, going near post. He's forced the goalkeeper into an excellent save. But if he'd gone across the goal, a couple of Spurs players were backing him up for the rebound.
Son takes, that's too low, couldn't find Eriksen. And a wave of apology from the South Korean. Hasn't had to say sorry about much recently, has he? And here he is again. He wins his side to throw in.
The intensity of the opening 10 minutes has been quite spectacular, hasn't it?
It's certainly got the crowd into it, Graham, hasn't it, as well? Fabulous noise. Rose again.
Pinned in at the moment, Manchester City.
Lloris to Alderweireld, who goes long this time instead of the shorter ball. Bravo's right out of his goal. Sissoko bearing down on him, and the ball was slowing gradually, and that got the crowd interested. Well, He's there to play with his feet, isn't he, as well as keep the ball out of the net.
Well, he is, but he hesitated. When John Stones turned, he suddenly checked his run, Bravo, and that created confusion between the two of them. But Vertonghen absolutely doing the right thing. Sorry, Alderweireld doing absolutely the right thing in that situation. Spotted the danger, sensed it, and played the ball in behind Manchester City. You've got to be prepared to do that as well. You can't play lovely football all the time when you're being pressed the way both of these teams are doing when their opponent has the ball.
Lloris closed down. Short it goes to Vertonghen. A miscue by Otamendi. Well, it's the vogue, the so-called progressive managers, the likes of Pep Guardiola, Maurizio Pochettino. They liked their goalkeepers to play with the ball at their feet, but it leads to some real helter-skelter football, doesn't it? Because, yes, it might lead to a goal at the other end, but the merest mistake, and we've seen it a couple of times this season, and the opposition are in. You cannot take your eyes off a game of Premier League football at the moment. And that's how we like it. Sissoko with the pirouette, little drag of the shirt by Fernando, and it's a free kick to Spurs.
I tell you, all the Spurs players, when they're under pressure, they've got such strength and balance on the ball. They're doing ever so well, whether it be Son, Eriksen, in that situation, Sissoko, all happy to keep the ball under control, even though they're under a lot of physical pressure.
That's a miscue by Kolarov. Dele Alli may have been in an offside position trying to get on the end of that ball from Son, but Kolarov wasn't to know that. Hasn't scored yet this season, Christian Eriksen, in the Premier League. One of the plethora of Spurs players, young talent, to sign new deals. He said there is a great future here. Danny Rose with a towering header above Zabaleta. Some good defensive work done by David Silva, and he was fouled by Lamela.
Yeah, referee trying to allow the game to go on, the advantage with Silva having the ball, but Lamela all arms and legs there. Certainly a free kick.
He screamed at the clouds in frustration there, Lamela. Here's Otamendi.
Did you read the article about the wrestling at Tottenham's training ground, Arlo, earlier in the week? So one of Pochettino's coaching staff.
That looked like a handball down beneath us, and it has been spotted by the assistant referee and Andre Mariner, so a free kick here to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, he pins the players down, and they have a competition of how long it takes you to get off the ground and get unpinned. So that might be accounting for their body strength.
I was too busy reading about Claudio Bravo's pass completion percentage this week. Which is 79%, by the way.
We both live very interesting lives during the week.
Do you feel like we need to get out more? Dele Alli is, well, close to the penalty spot, currently in an offside position. Lamela could kill this left-footed. Perhaps more likely is Eriksen with the right. Let's see. No, it is the left foot of Lamela, and it's headed clear by Zabaleta. Danny Rose with a volley. And it's still there, you know. Oh, good catch by Bravo, who was clattered into by Alderweireld. The ball may have crossed the line, but it was a foul anyway. Everyone turned away as if that ball was sailing over. Thankfully for Manchester City, Claudio Bravo kept his eye on it. And here's Sterling at the other end. Mistake by Walker. But the England fullback with the strength to win the ball back, and gets it back from Sissoko and sends it long. We can only find Otamendi. Navas. Fernandinho trapped by Wanyama.
He's had an excellent start to the game, Wanyama. Really taking responsibility for that role in front of the back four. Spots danger, obviously won the tackle to set up the goal, and there he did his work well against Fernandinho, who is playing much further forwards in this City lineup.
Well, they've had players returning from injury. Moussa Dembele's still out. Eric Dyer in that Wanyama position is on the bench today as he returns from injury. Dele Alli. Sissoko tried the first time ball into the path of a scampering Kyle Walker. Didn't quite work out, and here's Sergio Aguero at the other end. He's somewhat isolated there, Aguero. Just holds up and waits for a few teammates to join him. Tried to find Silva, cut out by Eriksen. And here comes Spurs again. Fernando, almost the furthest man forward at the moment for Manchester City. And they've won a throw-in. He opened his career, Pep Guardiola, with 10 wins. And of course, against Celtic in the Champions League, that winning run was ended. A 3-3 draw, an extraordinary game. Played in a fantastic atmosphere. None of City's previous 43 managers won more than their opening 5 games. The club record unbeaten start, by the way, is 13 games. Otamendi into this one. Can only find Eriksen. There's Dele Alli. Good challenge. Side down by Otamendi, who gets a yellow card.
Absolutely sublime by Dele Alli there. Good patient build-up by Tottenham, dominating possession at the moment, and this footwork. The little deft touch into the run of Son. Absolutely wonderful to see. Otamendi completely overcommitted himself. Great opportunity for Eriksen here.
It's like a 5-man wall demanded by Claudio Bravo. The trio of Spurs players will intermingle with it. Bravo just checking the angle from his post. Christian Eriksen's last Premier League goal was here against Bournemouth in March in a 3-0 win. Lamella's over it too. Bravo a yard off his line. Well, this would cap a glorious opening 20 minutes for Spurs if they could double their advantage. Eric. Aguero under this one. The header won though by Vertonghen.